éxito.
Más allá del dinero que estén ganando con The Dead Daisies o el dinero que deben de estar dejando de ganar, a nivel creativo, ¿es mejor estar en una banda siendo importante para esa banda o es mejor estar en la primera liga como pasó con Mötley Crüe o con Whitesnake, aunque sean un actor secundario?
That's a good question. Go ahead.
Okay, let me see if I can translate this.
Sí.
Yeah, yes you can.
Apart from the fact that you are in a band and you make a living out of this band.
You're a band member, yeah.
What is more important? Let's see if I understood this. What's more important to you, being on the top, reach the the level of success with bands such let's say Mötley Crüe, or even if you are on a lower level,
Like a sideman
yeah, a sideman.
in a bigger band.
I don't know how to say sideman in Spanish.
sideman.
Yeah, silent, yeah, okay.
Like a sideman in a bigger band or part of a band,
Yeah.
where you're an equal partner. That's an easy answer for me.
You know what, honestly, I somebody was asking me earlier today, how the record is doing. Or how many records we've sold. It doesn't matter. I love doing what I do. I think every record we've done as the Dead Daisies has been amazing. I love it. I listen to it at home. I have an amazing job. I get to travel all over the world and play music in like places like Barcelona Rock Fest. Here tonight in a club. We did and then there's other shows that I'll do or Marco will do on our own where we just go out with an acoustic guitar and we play in a little cafe for 200 people. I just like playing. So to me it doesn't matter. I love music. I love, again, doing what I do, and I feel very blessed to have the job that I have. So it doesn't matter to me.
You want to translate that? But on secondhand, my opinion is when you have vested interest, when you're part of a band, you're committed emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, because you're part of the process. When we had this talk in getting the model for the Dead Daisies, and my 2 cents that I threw in there, I said, in order to keep the cats in the band, you got to get them involved. Most of the time, most of the bands that I've been with, the big bands, I don't want to drop names, but whatever, there's always 1 or 2 writers. It's their vision that you're backing up. And then if you negotiate good, you get a little bit of publishing and writing, but you're not really involved in the bigger picture. It's somebody else's vision, somebody else's. The Dead Daisies, it's a collaborative thing. We are all part of the process from the beginning to the end. And it is satisfaction when we all hit the stage. We're all a team. We're all equal partners. The common denominator is deliver the best music and the best show possible. So for me, I prefer that and have a common thing that we're all working for than to be part of, if Jimi Hendrix calls, maybe. You know what I mean? But
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I know. Just to use an example, but bands that are out there looking for cats, I would do it, but it would become a job after a little bit. It become because you're not vested, you're not involved in the process. It's like you're painting somebody else's picture. You're using their colors. You know what I'm saying?
Color by numbers.
Color. Thank you. Color by number. Marco, you need to paint this color by blue. Okay, and you paint red and orange. Okay, here we have the canvas, and we're all trying to paint the picture. And when it comes together, it's like it's our picture. I just got chills again. But it's true. I think that's a sign of a true artist, that you're constantly moving forward. You're constantly rolling the dice. You're constantly writing and moving forward. When you stop, you stop. I've been lucky enough to work with some big bands like John, like Doug, like everybody. And some of these projects were jobs. It became jobs. I mean, I hate to admit it. After a while, it's just a job. And there's something to be said about this. So I prefer the band situation. Absolutely me.
Okay.
Bueno, empezamos
I'll
por
let
John.
I'll let him translate. I got something else to interject.
Okay. Woo, I'm sweating here.
Sorry.
Sí.
Short question. Short answer.
John dijo que su carrera tiene dos facetas. La primera es trabajar en una banda con los Dead Daisies, que con esta banda puede viajar alrededor del mundo y tocar en festivales como Rockfest, o hoy, esta noche, tocar en una sala tan emblemática como es la Sala Caracol. Y también tiene otra faceta que es como su faceta, digamos, acústica, que con una guitarra toca en un café, digamos, ante no sé cuántas personas. Dice, pero cualquiera de las dos facetas a él le produce la misma satisfacción, ¿no? Entonces, no le importa, nunca ha pensado en estar en una banda de renombre, pero para que acabara siendo un comparsa o digamos un sideman, un secundario, digamos,
Sí,
¿no?
secundario, sí.
Entonces se siente bendecido de poder combinar ambas facetas, una, digamos, más visible y otra, digamos, más discreta, pero lo más importante es que a él le encanta tocar, da igual la faceta y el formato, y se siente muy bendecido de poder hacer esto.
Y en el caso de Marco lo tiene clarísimo, ¿no? Que
Sí.
él prefiere ser parte de una banda que ser un músico contratado haciendo la música de otro.
Claro,
¿no?
porque dice que él ha trabajado con varios grandes nombres que no ha querido nombrar, obviamente, pero que al final del proceso acaba siendo un trabajo rutinario, y él puso la metáfora de pintar con números, de colorear con números, ¿no? Que la banda, que es la visión de otra persona, y esta persona dice, mira, aquí tienes que colorear el número 5 con rojo, el número 3 con azul. No es tu visión, no participas de manera creativa, entonces no te sientes involucrado. Mientras que con los Dead Daisies toda la banda está involucrada en todo el proceso, entonces se sienten como parte integral. Entonces eso hace que las cosas sean, todos participan, todos asumen los mismos riesgos, participan en las decisiones críticas. Entonces, claro, es mucho más diferente, y eso es lo que prefieren ellos.
Es un equipo de fútbol.
Bien, mejor que el de España, espero, al menos esta vez.
We're a team like football. We're a
And
football team.
John wanted to add something.
I forgot the answer. I forgot the question.
Bueno, esta última ya para John y acabamos, que os habéis tirado aquí un muy buen rato. Os agradecemos el que hayáis hecho el esfuerzo de venir primero a la radio y que luego hayáis tenido una charla distendida con nosotros. Esta última me gustaría que fuera para John, y es una doble pregunta. Recuerdo leyendo The Dirt, la biografía de Mötley Crüe, él contaba que su paso por la banda le dejó con tan poca autoestima que pensó incluso en dejar de cantar y volverse solo guitarrista. Quería saber cuándo volvió a querer ser cantante, y si no echa de menos ahora el tocar la guitarra, ahora que es solo cantante, ¿no?
Well, is it true that your experience in Mötley Crüe, after you left the band, you know, your self-esteem was so low that you were even considering the possibility of quitting the music business altogether?
Singing.
Or singing.
And just playing guitar.
And just play guitar.
Just play the guitar, and now that you are
Just a singer.
just a singer, do you miss playing a guitar?
No,
We
actually,
play guitar.
I still play. I still play some. When, like, if we do like acoustic shows, I'll play on a few songs. I always have guitars at my house, you know, so I'm always noodling around, writing riffs and different things like that. So, it's just it. But in your first part of your question, yes. I had a point when I put Union together with Bruce Kulick. We started writing together. And then we said, oh, this is pretty good. Let's put a band together. And I started suggesting, you know, bass players and drummers. And then I said, yeah, you know, and we should get a singer. And he just looked at me and he's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, what, you're singing? And I go, no, I'm not real sure. But it was crazy. Like, as much as the first record I did with Mötley, like, everything I did was like, oh, you know, amazing. And then the second record, I don't think any of us really knew what we wanted. I don't know how to explain it. But if you listen to me, or if you listen to the Generation Swine record, I think it was really kind of all over the place. So what happened is you had a band that had been successful up until the point that I joined. And then this first record and tour was like a disaster. And I think at that point they started looking around and going, well, okay, Pantera's really successful, and Nine Inch Nails is really successful, and Marilyn Manson and Oasis and all these things. And I think that what they were trying to do, much to the dismay of everybody, was take pieces of this and somehow figure out how to put it all together with Mötley Crüe and do some sort of groundbreaking record. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the record, it didn't. I think the Generation Swine record sold even less than the one that I did.
Yes, I think
so. Then they turned around and they went back to being Mötley again. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Which is what I think we should have done anyway. We should have just stayed the course and maybe worked with Bob Rock again, and just kept plowing away. But it didn't work out. So by the time it was. I also told somebody this. By the time they came to me and said, we're bringing Vince back, I was, on one hand, I was obviously bummed out about it and you know, like, oh, you know, but on the other hand, I was relieved. I didn't have to deal with any of it anymore. You know what I mean? So it was a very weird position. But I was also mentally convinced, because their manager and at times, you know, I was being told that I wasn't a very good singer.
By whom?
Everybody. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some truth to this. They obviously, you know, and honestly, I got to thank Bruce Kulick for that one, because he was like, no, dude, there's nothing wrong with, you're fine. Just do what you do. Okay. And he talked me back into Union again. I just wanted to play guitar.
So it's thanks to Bruce Kulick that
I got to give him that, you know.
¿Y coincidió allí con Eric Singer, si no recuerdo mal también? ¿O Eric Singer played in Union too, or not? Just Bruce Kulick?
No. We have ESP, which is Eric Singer, Bruce Kulick, me, and Chuck Garrick from Alice Cooper.
Sorry.
No.
Bueno, con respecto a la parte de la pregunta, que si echas de menos tocar la guitarra, dice que no, porque aparte de que su casa está llena de guitarras, también tiene, como dijimos antes, esa faceta acústica, donde él efectivamente toca la guitarra acústica y da conciertos en este formato y siempre compone, entonces no lo echa, y de vez en cuando quizás con los Dead Daisies está echando algún acorde. Bien, ahora con respecto a su caída de autoestima, a la hora de salir del Mötley Crüe, es verdad que estaba de capa caída, y cuenta un poco el trasfondo del segundo disco. Bueno, dijo que el primer disco estuvo, bueno, más o menos bien, sí, aunque la gira dice que fue un poco desastre.
Sí, fue cuando Mötley Crüe se dio cuenta de que ya no estaban en la Major League anymore, ¿no? Es como que hicisteis you did the first tour with the band and you saw that Mötley Crüe was no fashion thing, no hype thing anymore, right?
Yeah, and it was weird. I think we were honestly just talking about this the other day. Yeah. Like, I think there was a lot of things happening in the music industry then. You know, Mötley Crüe had just come off of Dr. Feelgood, sold millions of records. Then they did a greatest hits record, and they went out and they toured very briefly for that. You know, but then everything started to change, you know, with Nirvana and you know, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. And even with us going on tour, like, I you know, and I may not have understood it, whatever, but even when we were rehearsing for the tour, at one point, they didn't even want to play any of their old material, which I thought was a mistake, which we wound up doing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought that if we were going to go out on tour, visually, the band should look like they did on Feel Good. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like leather pants and the tattoos, and that's what people expect. Mm-hmm. You know, but it was crazy. Like, Mick is always going to be Mick. Even when Mick gets up in the morning, he looks like he does on stage. He goes to, you know, make coffee, he looks like Mick Mars. But it was weird. Like, even I remember at that point, Tommy and Nikki were wearing like shorts and Doc Martens on stage. And I you know, in hindsight now, I look at it and I go, I think we were just trying in some ways too hard to be current. And I don't think the fans wanted it. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
You know, and so I don't know I don't know if something actually really happened with Vince or he quit or got fired. I don't know if I was some part of the master plan to like negotiate through the grunge thing. I don't know, but there was a lot of things. Like I even I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot. I even suggested at one point before we go out in an arena tour, I just wanted to do
a club run. Yeah.
I wanted to do like unannounced
theaters.
Come to Madrid and show up here and say, hey, we're playing a surprise show tonight at blah blah blah, a little club.
Like warm up shows.
Yeah, like remember the video they did for Kickstart My Heart. They in the whiskey.
Yes.
You know.
And it was a surprise show, right?
Yes, but you do like for me. I said, well, you know, things are a little different. You know, Like I think we should maybe just do 20 shows in America, like pick certain cities: Chicago, New York, Miami, Atlanta. You know. And just, obviously, we do the homework, but tell everybody, don't announce anything. We go to a radio station early in the morning, and we go, we're playing a surprise club, we're playing a club show tonight, Mötley Crüe at the Whiskey. And I go, that way you kind of create excitement, and you just build it. Then you go from there to maybe a theater. Then from a theater to a club. And I remember one of the guys, either in the band or their management, and they just looked at me and they said, "Are you afraid to play in arenas?"
Okay.
And I said, "No." And they're like, "Well, you don't learn how to ride a horse by reading a book. You get on the horse." And I go, "Okay, well, obviously you guys know what you're doing, but this is what I would do. I would just kind of." You know, even the Stones do it sometimes. They'll go out and they start little club shows.
Yeah, I got to see that.
Why can't we do it?
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do it. So
the grunge thing, I'll add to that. The grunge thing, because I was out there with John Sykes of Blue Murder. And when the grunge thing happened, it was so obvious to the rest of the industry that there was a new sheriff in town. There's a new direction.
A new way of thinking.
A new way of thinking. The labels are all going to jump on board and go that way. And you're going that way. So, see ya. It was like that. It was. We went across the Mississippi, man. We crossed to the other side. And the support for the tour, for Nothing But Trouble on Geffen, just died. All of a sudden, there's no interviews. The club, the shows are not getting promoted. It was like deflated. There was like 3 or 4 shows we didn't do, and we had to come home. It was the beginning of the grunge thing that affected everybody.
And everybody there, like I had the mindset. I'm sorry, he's like, I don't know if I can remember all those. I had the mindset, like for me, I don't really care if I play in a stadium or a club. What I do care about is, I really believe that. I mean, sometimes there is a business part of this, and I think bands need to look at where they're at, and they need to not bite off more than they can chew. So you go, okay, well, we were playing arenas, but it's changing now. So maybe what we do is we go into theaters or large clubs, and instead of doing one night there, we do 3 nights in a club. I'd rather walk into a place and have it be completely sold out and a party than walk into an arena that's half full and hear crickets.
Ok, vamos allá.
Sí. I'm going to go make a sandwich. This is going to be a while.
Bueno, volviendo al origen de tu pregunta acerca de su bajón de autoestima, dice que efectivamente estaba de tan bajón que cuando montó el proyecto de Union con Bruce Kulick, empezaron a pensar que esto podría llegar a ser una banda con perspectivas, ¿no?, el futuro. empezaron a buscar nuevos músicos, empezaron a buscar la vocalista, y dice Bruce Kulick, pero ¿qué me dices? ¿Cómo va a ser? Si tú eres el vocalista. O sea, ni se le entraba por la mente
que no fuera a cantar,
que volvería a cantar, para tener una idea de la baja autoestima que había llegado.
Sí, un poco llega, o sea, resumiendo un poco, creo que a partir de ahí ha saltado al hecho de que en el estudio ni siquiera ellos tenían claro, decía que se llamaba Pantera,
el concepto de Mötley Crüe dice que en aquella época, como los Mötley Crüe vieron el percal que venía encima con música alternativa, están mencionando nombres como Oasis, después el groove metal de los Pantera, o Marilyn Manson. Entonces los Mötley Crüe vieron allí una posibilidad de captar más gente, siguiendo un poco la nueva corriente, ¿no? Entonces es el resultado del Generation Swine, un disco que tiene un poco de todo, pero que no llega a ninguna parte.
Bueno, muy bien, no te vamos a hacer sufrir más porque ellos se tienen que ir ya.